And welcome to Real News Michiana's Real News Roundup. I'm your host, Ben. I'm joined here by my partner in crime, Clifton French. He's the founder and editor of Real News Michiana. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this video. Then also go to realnewsmichiana.com and please be a subscriber. That's how we keep the lights on around here.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Clifton, let's get started with the Real News Roundup.
Yeah.
The news of the week.
So if you haven't come in and seen any of this yet, this is only our second episode, right, Ben?
Right.
If you haven't done this yet, what we're doing is just breaking down the news stories for the week, stuff that we have covered, and so we'll just jump right into it.
I like it.
All right, Ben, what's on first?
Okay, so we got this story about Notre Dame where they shamed students about their vaccination status, right? So they put up a sign. As you can see, this sign right here was posted on the campus of Notre Dame.
Yeah, so Notre Dame, our favorite woke school in this area, and
Right.
I'd say in the Midwest in general. Notre Dame is they're going crazy with all of their vax stuff. They're getting crazier. So nowadays, this is what you run into. So by the way, Notre Dame has their own vaccination or their own testing site, right? Their COVID testing site, which is located at the Joyce Center on Notre Dame campus. So you walk in there and the first thing you see is, tired of testing because you aren't vaccinated? Get the shot. This is Notre Dame's tactic across the board. All they're doing is pushing vaccinate on all of these students. This is a part of this whole thing where if you are not vaccinated, if you're not, their definition of fully vaccinated, right, which is boosted,
Triple boosted.
Half of your blood is now the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. You're all mRNA just gushing out of your pores. So that is their thing. If you are not boosted, if you're not, after such amount of time, whatever, you have to get weekly testing. You have to go through all kinds of. You have to wear masks in different places where other people don't. All it's doing is making it as uncomfortable as possible to not get the vaccine. Starting in 2022, by the way, in fall of 2022, if you are not meeting their definition of fully vaccinated, you can't go to school.
Well, this reminds me of the radical left's agenda of creating kind of a class system.
Oh yeah,
it's that's a class system. Is what it is. Let's call it what it is. It's a class system.
Well, even in honestly, of radical Islam, it's the similarities here to radical Islam is uncanny, right? Covering up your face, all of that, right? Well, in not the vast majority of Islam, right, but they have what's called they have a thing where you in order to treat the infidel, right? You can tax them, right? You essentially just make their life miserable until they convert, right?
In the knee, yep.
It is the same exact tactic that's being used here, and just covering your face, doing all of these things, taking away your liberties and your freedoms. This is at a liberal school, right? At a liberal university where you're supposed to. It's supposed to be freedom, man. That's all. It's supposed to be freedom. I realize it's a private school. I realize they can do what they want. But you know what? Anybody who's going to Notre Dame, take your money somewhere else.
And let's move on to the next story.
All right. So this one is fantastic. So I've been contacted by a ton of parents at Niles schools. So I'm branching out a little bit. Niles is still a part of Michiana, right? And so I've been branching out a bit, trying to get out of St. Joseph County.
Right.
You love the school stories.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm involved in them now.
Yeah. So. That's your jam.
It is.
So this one, what do you know about this so far, Ben? What'd you read?
They're kind of like a copycat of all the other schools around the area. They're basically, except that one thing's a little bit different. They're not trying to hide The fact that they're teaching CRT, they're out in the open, which kind of makes me respect them a little bit more than I do my school board. At least they're being honest. They're telling you they're communists. They're telling you they're Marxists. At least we know what they are, right? Like my school board at PHM, they do the same thing, except they tell you they gaslight. Yeah. They tell you they're not doing it.
Yep.
That's the difference.
And so exactly what's happening here is we have these are three of the leaders of Niles schools, right? Two elementary school principals, right? Elementary.
Yep.
And then you have the director of curriculum, okay, who are all pushing CRT through social emotional learning, Martin Luther King Day, and Black History Month. All right. They did this whole thing
so sad.
where they're talking about all of this equity and white privilege. By the way, all of these white people trying to, push all of this racial stuff down. I don't understand where this is coming from. Like you were just talking down to minorities by saying all of this crap. Right. You're talking down to them.
Yeah.
You are making this is the most racist thing ever, and they are pushing it on our children. So anyway, they have this on Martin Luther King Day. These three folks held a training for the rest of administrators and staff, essentially on how to push CRT, critical race theory, onto elementary school students.
That's disgusting, man.
In under the guise of Black History Month, right? So what was great is they had they spoke to the Niles Daily Star, and they focused on this. They just told them exactly what they're doing. Now, the Niles Daily Star, they ran with this with glowing reviews.
Oh,
I mean, it's the liberal press, man. And you have some child probably right out of college who was freshly indoctrinated by all of this stuff, who is the journalist writing this freaking story. But they talk about all of these, how we're going to push all of this stuff, all about our white privilege. They say we're going beyond MLK, we're going beyond Rosa Parks, right? To talk about equity, to talk about all of this stuff that is just reverting back to these racist tendencies. So in here, they talk about this document, Ben. Yep. They talk about this going beyond MLK and Rosa Parks document,
right?
Okay, that they were giving to that they were making for elementary school students. Okay, so I filed a FOIA just today. I got it.
Awesome.
I got it. Guess what's in there?
A lot of the equity. A lot of things named equity.
One of my favorite things is the lesson on teaching first graders about microaggressions. Oh. That's coming out next week. And so the two ladies that you see here, right? These two ladies, we have a Jennifer Shabazz, right? She's the principal of Ballard Elementary School, and Ann Bingham, who's the director of curriculum for the entire district. All right. So these two ladies are pretty open about what they do. He's Jaron Blood. He's the principal of Southside Elementary School. He has shored up his social media pretty good. It's fairly private. It's only for people who know him. So you're not having you can't see a bunch of his political ideals, right? He's not putting it out there for the public. These two, the exact opposite, right? Jennifer Shabazz is a radical activist. She's in South Bend, okay, or St. Joseph County. She is married to the board member of the Democrat board member of the St. Joseph County Voter Registration Office, who is also a radical. His name is Mohammed Shabazz. He is currently being sued for, he admitted to sexually harassing Republican women there, right? He is currently being sued in federal court because of this. The county is being sued because of this. However, he's a Democrat. He held his job. It's not, he never got fired.
Yeah, well, only Democrats can do that stuff.
Yeah. Me too.
Me too. Right. So, well, I mean, look at Joe Biden. He's president of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, I guess. Mm-hmm. Till he, yeah.
I mean, I heard he sexually assaulted a woman with Tara Reid.
He did a lot more than that.
Yeah.
He's got rape accusations as well.
Yeah. Sniffy.
Yep.
So we have
stop.
So Then we have Ann Bingham here, right? If you go to realnewsmichiana.com, you can read the story yourself. But Ann Bingham, and I have screenshots of the social media. Ann Bingham, director of curriculum, also takes to Twitter and other social media to push all of her critical race theory, Marxist ideals. They're all freaking commies, man. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Racist, communist, indoctrinators of our kindergartners.
Running indoctrination factories.
Yep.
Running straight up indoctrination factories and not even trying to hide it.
Nope.
I can almost respect them because they're not trying to hide it.
No.
At least they're saying this is what we stand for. We're commies. We're Marxists. You know, get it.
At least they truly,
they
truly believe in the cause.
At least they believe in the cause.
Not like the Satanists who try to hide that they're Satanists.
Ooh, that's another story.
Uh-oh. Da-na-na.
Let's hit the next story. What else we got going on?
One of our favorites, Mr. Bernardo Malone.
Oh, boy.
You've read about Bernardo, haven't you?
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah. What do you think about Bernardo?
Well, see, he's a felon.
Mm-hmm.
He's a liar. He uses his position to smear people.
Mm-hmm.
He uses his platform. He has a platform. He uses that to smear people. It's pretty disgusting.
Well, and he's used it to solicit sex from single mothers in need. So that's
in need.
Yeah.
In need.
Yeah.
Need of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like they don't like. So I mean, I've done so many stories on this guy by now, right? So Bernardo Malone.
Doesn't look very happy there.
If you haven't heard of Bernardo Malone, right? Bernardo Malone is a city-funded activist. He received a grant to help fight violent crime in the city of South Bend, right? Thousands of taxpayer dollars. They didn't do a background check on him. He's done multiple stints in federal prison for fraud. I think he got out in 2018. Still owes about $350,000 in restitution for those cases.
Wow.
He's a fun man. He's been convicted of like cloning phones, credit card fraud, aggravated identity theft, all of this stuff.
Of course, he just works for the city.
Yep.
I'm sure they trust him 100%.
Oh yeah. Yep. And he is there to fight crime.
Yeah, with crime.
Yeah,
with more crime.
He's there to fight crime. So Bernardo Malone does use he whenever anybody, I mean, just like the standard activist mob, right? Whenever anybody goes after him, when anybody says anything that is truthful about him, right? I've done all these stories. I mean, I did a story proving that he was using his position, right? Because he was claiming to be helping the families of homicide victims, okay, by helping with funeral arrangements. So he had a partnership with a funeral home, and he was giving full access, and he was taking photos, full body naked photos of these dead people, right? And then he was going around and showing them off. So he was showing them off to his partner. One of his partners works at the voter registration office. He was going up to the voter registration office, in the voter registration office, showing pictures of dead people and their genitalias, and then making comments about, the size of the genitalia or how nice the breasts were, that kind of thing, right?
Wow.
That is the type of person this is. Now, the reason he was doing what he also was doing was this guy is practically illiterate, okay? He approaches you, nobody is going to believe that he is anything, right?
Right.
So he's going up to these he's showing up on crime scenes, he's doing, and then interjecting himself with these families, and then using these pictures to say, hey, listen, I'm a detective, or I work for the city, or I do this, and I help with, here are pictures to prove it. And then showing pictures of these dead people, essentially as like a catalog resume of the work that he's done.
Wow.
Right? So I've talked to dozens of families who he did this to. This, and then he has gone after and tried to smear me, right? This is one of the witnesses. One of the people who saw those pictures, right? Who named herself, and I am not naming her here.
Right.
However, out of just protection for her at this point, and she's the victim in this case. So she is now sending him a cease and desist order because for more than a year now, he has been after her, just using your taxpayer dollars, using his platform that the city freaking uplifted him into, right? That Mayor Pete uplifted him into.
Right.
Okay. All of these, he's using that platform to smear this woman who reported this gross behavior. None of this stuff would have come out without her. Okay. So he goes to social media. And as an official, calling her a prostitute, calling her a racist, calling her all kinds of terrible things. So what's she do? She finally gets an attorney, finally sends him a cease and desist order, and then yesterday filed a freaking defamation lawsuit. Beautiful. Beautiful. However, I
want to know how he's responding. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I was just about to tell you.
I want to hear it.
I just got text messages before we shot this. He is claiming that everything he is saying is true and that he's going to ignore the cease and desist order. And he didn't know he was being sued yet. So now he's being sued.
Okay.
Also, coming out next week, I'm going to publish 2 new lawsuits that just came out against him and the funeral home he was working with.
What?
Yeah.
The plot thickens.
The plot thickens. So these family members, I spoke to these family members. One of the families didn't even know that he was doing this, with a picture of their deceased daughter, showing off the pictures of their deceased daughter.
Wow.
They contacted me after I had published my first story, and now they have also filed lawsuits. So 2 different families of people he was taking pictures of and showing off their nude bodies have now filed a lawsuit against him and the funeral home. That's results, Ben.
Yeah, that is results. I'm going to see more. I want to see more. I know where there's 1, there's 2. Where there's 2, there's 3. Mm-hmm. Where there's 3, there's 4.
Yeah.
This is how he's been doing this for years.
Yep.
I'll bet you he has.
Yeah, well, I said
years.
He got out of prison in 2018. So since then, by the way, he's had 5 protection orders filed against him since 2012. And like 5 of those years he was in prison.
We should get him to. We should interview him.
Should get him on the show.
Should get him on the show.
Oh, I've interviewed him before. It's fun. Let me tell you. God, he is the scum of the earth.
Yes,
he is the absolute scum of the earth. And you know what? His time's coming. Right now, I know of multiple law enforcement investigations going on into him because of all the stuff I uncovered. The Attorney General's office is now investigating him. Wow. And the funeral home. And now he has these 3 brand new lawsuits that just came up against him. The walls are closing in on Mr. Malone.
The walls are closing in. Yes, they are.
Mr. Malone, I'm sure you're watching. I'm going to watch my language here, but F off, dude. Just enjoy prison. Enjoy losing everything you have. I know you don't have much anyway. All right, moving on.
There's supposed to have been a mask-free day today at PHM. It started as social media. So the Strengthen Our Schools group started this on social media. And it kind of got big. People started seeing it. People started sharing it. People started talking about it. The next thing you know, I guess today was the day. And there was bus drivers with no masks on, not enforcing masks. A few teachers, I guess. We had like a anti-mask protest outside the schools. There'll be some pictures to follow. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of successful.
And this is how it started out on social media, right?
Exactly.
It started out with this just going out. So you had this meme going out. Free our smiles, PHM, Friday, 2/11/2020. I love this. I love this, Ben.
So do I.
Stand up. And it's honestly, it's way overdue.
It is.
Way overdue. This should have been done a long time ago. So this was another one of the social media posts. Once again, free our smiles, nice little smiley face. Dude, this is a great campaign. The way that they put this campaign together, perfect. Whoever put this campaign together, kudos. I am certainly impressed. So I want to show you the email, though, that went out from the principal.
Okay.
Can I just read it?
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
So because of this social media stuff that was going out, the principal, Sean Gallagher, he sends out this email to all the families saying, no, 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 no.
Right.
You must wear this dirty cloth over your face or else. Dear Penn families, for those of you not aware, a rumor is circulating on social media that PHM will be mask-free on Friday, February 11, 2022. I want to clarify that the social media post is not an official PHM communication or event. PHM schools will not be mask-free on Friday.
Ooh.
I don't think anybody who read that really believed that it was a school-sponsored event. Come on.
Yeah.
It's been almost 2 years now that as a community, we've been dealing with the ramifications of COVID. I want to thank you all for continued cooperation and collaboration as we've worked together to make the best out of this situation. It has been far from easy, says Principal Gallagher. Some of our families have suffered devastating losses and unprecedented hardships. We've all been impacted and had to make accommodations. But most of all, I want to thank our students for their remarkable cooperation in doing all that has been asked. Our students, your children, have been amazingly resilient through all of this. I continue to be proud of their strength and positive attitude as we continue to ruin the lives and the social well-being, the emotional well-being of your children. Our schools continue to be full of active and engaging learning, excitement, and laughter. Alrighty, he goes on to talk about Omicron and how bad that is. It's not killing kids, by the way. Statistically, not killing kids. These people are insane. Oh, if you want to see a picture of Principal Gallagher, here he is. That's the principal. His email's here too. Go ahead and send an email. Let him know what you think of this email that he sent out to all the parents.
Yes. Unbelievable.
And by the way, he has a Twitter. It's at Sean Gallagher. I hate Twitter, but if you got it, go ahead and send him a few tweets. Actually, tweet him out this story. It's fun.
I'm not anti-mask.
Yeah.
Anti-stupid.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to wear a mask, more power to them. Okay, let's go on to the next story. There she is, right there. So this is that council person. You say council person or councilwoman?
I say councilwoman.
Councilwoman? Okay, I think that's misogyny. I don't know.
I think I am a bigot for this.
I think so. So councilwoman proposes resolution supporting racism, Marxism, and porn for our kids. Why does she do this? Because what's the bill that she's against, that she's fighting?
Oh, she's against, and a lot of you are going to know 1134. A lot of you are going to know about House Bill 1134. If you don't know what House Bill 1134 is, once again, doesn't go as far as most of us wish it would, but it does limit children from being exposed to sexually explicit material, tackles tenets of critical race theory being taught in public schools without ever mentioning critical race theory, mind you.
Correct. That's the best way to do it.
Without ever mentioning.
That's all the left has is language games.
Yep. And they say, like, we're not teaching critical race theory. We're not teaching critical race theory. And then critical race theory is not bad. It's super important. This woman goes off claiming that this thing is teaching critical race, that this is banning critical race theory, right?
Right.
When it never mentions critical race theory, okay?
Yep.
She infers that from everything that's written in it.
Oh, yeah.
All the bad stuff that's written in there. It's critical race theory. So then she claims critical race theory is not being taught. Okay, so anyway, it also offers more transparency for parents of school-age children, right? So it allows parents more access to the curriculum that is being taught to their kids. Okay? Sounds pretty good, right?
Because it sounds exactly like that's something that we should have access to what our kids are being taught.
Yeah.
Because like we just talked about, what we don't want is indoctrination factories, like they're doing in Niles.
Yep.
They're
doing it everywhere.
They're bragging it. Yeah, they're doing it everywhere. They're admitting it in Niles.
Yep.
They're admitting it there.
Yep. So this is Lori Hammond, South Bend Common Council at large. So really what she is doing with this resolution is she is supporting racism. She is saying that white people are oppressors, black people are the oppressed. There's nothing that can be done about it, right? That is just how our system works. So telling people of color that they have no agency over their own lives, right? That sounds pretty freaking racist.
Yep.
Telling white people, white kids, that you are evil. You are evil because of the color of your skin. Sounds pretty racist.
Sounds like everything that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was fighting against. Yeah, they use Martin Luther King as a vessel. Yep. They use him as a vessel to push their ideology. This guy would be rolling in his grave right now.
Well, and I don't even so Lori Hammond, she is also a government and economics teacher at Marion High School.
Oh my God.
How about that? So I don't even think, I mean, she was just using like union talking points when she put together this resolution. Okay. And by the way, so she put together this resolution. It's supposed to be voted on Monday. Whatever. It has no teeth. It's a resolution coming from the Common Council. The Common Council has no say over schools. It's just a politician being a politician. However, she's shown her freaking cards. Right. You're going to write something stupid, I'm going to put it out there.
Nice.
So I'll just go into a few things that she talks about. She obviously did not read this bill. She went off of union talking points, has no clue what she's talking about. She infers that this bill is tackling CRT when it doesn't even mention CRT in the text. She lies about CRT not being taught in public schools. And she goes off on all these issues regarding higher education that have nothing to do with this bill. This bill does not touch on higher education in the way that she claims that it does. She also gets really upset that parents and lawmakers are actually having a say in the education of their children.
That's horrible.
Isn't
That's
that
horrible.
really bad? Whereas decisions, so this directly from the resolution, whereas decisions about curriculum and subject matter should be made by educators who have expertise in the subject.
Educators.
Mm-hmm.
Like educators, like experts like her. That don't even read the bill that they're writing a resolution about.
Nope.
Experts like her.
Yeah. Parents, you rubes, you morons, you deplorables, you do not have any say in what your children are being exposed to at school. We can expose them to pornography and other sexually explicit material, and it's fine. She also puts in here talking points about systemic discrimination, blah, 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 same stuff, and true equitable systems.
That word again, equity.
Love it.
That's what PHM made up their own definition to equity.
Yeah, everybody does.
Oh, they make up their own stuff.
Words don't mean anything anymore.
No.
They don't mean anything.
All the left has is gaslighting through language. Because if you control the language, you control the conversation.
That's the next part I was about to talk about.
That's all they have. They have nothing else. The facts don't line up.
So the biggest gaslighting part of her resolution, right, was talking about indoctrinating children. So she was claiming that supporters of 1134 who want to protect their children from pornography, racial discrimination, and other things, right? And having transparency.
Ooh, right, that's horrible.
Bad for parents to know what's being done in schools. She says that she claims that people who oppose this bill who are for this bill are indoctrinating children by not supporting critical race theory indoctrination.
Wow.
Yeah. This is how she words it, right? Whereas efforts to suppress factual teaching on race and racism, factual on her definition, once again, or to erase unpleasant facts about U.S. history is akin to ideological indoctrination. Nowhere in this bill, mind you, does it say that you're erasing parts of U.S. history. Everything, warts, all of that, shown, good to go. We need to teach everything that was bad so we don't repeat history, right?
Right.
But we're not going to teach kids to be freaking racist. Finally. Ooh, the transparency again.
Ooh.
So angry about transparency. She believes that that this transparency is going to cause teachers to quit their jobs with no evidence. She's just saying things. She's saying things without any evidence at all.
Clifton, have you noticed a pattern? This happens at PA. I go to all the school board meetings.
Yes.
Every month. And this is what she's using the same talking points as our own board members. And this is what they do. Every time we ask for transparency, every time we want to see transparency, they always allude to, we must support our teachers. We must support our teachers. Our teachers need our support. This is too hard for the teachers to explain what they're teaching the children. The problem is I never hear them say the children need more support. Mm-hmm. It's all about the teachers.
Yep.
Teachers unions are all about the teachers.
They're all about the teachers.
They don't care. They don't give a damn about your kids.
She is upset that this bill would require the highly competent and dedicated teachers in Indiana to be monitored and to have lesson plans and syllabi be reviewed and scrutinized by non-educators, i.e. you and me. Parents.
The rubes. The simpletons.
Yep. The rubes.
The simpletons.
The deplorables.
Yes.
The resolution states, House Bill 1134 would further drive teachers out of the classroom over concerns that their work would receive unjust judgment and also over the additional workload. You know what?
Additional workload.
Go ahead. I don't want, if you are an educator and this upsets you, leave, quit, find something else to do. I can guarantee you what you're going to be doing is not having a fun summer break. You're not going to be having all of your holidays off. You're probably going to have to work weekends and evenings on occasion. I realize being a teacher is hard freaking work. It is difficult. It is very, very, very difficult. If you don't like this, though, get out. Leave. You work for the taxpayer. Your work is to be scrutinized by the public, period. We pay you. Get out. Don't indoctrinate my children. Teach them their ABCs. Teach them how to read. Teach them how to write. Teach them how to make a freaking volcano with baking soda and freaking vinegar, right?
And here's another thing I want to allude to, okay? Because too often I hear that since we don't like this pornography, they're forcing our children to read out loud in classrooms.
Yep.
Okay, since we don't like it,
discussing masturbate, 14-year-olds discussing male masturbation
techniques. Yep. So here's the thing: just because we don't like our kids reading that out loud, what liberals do, the extremists, what they do is they try to say that we want to ban books. And see, and what they're trying to do is connect us to like fascism, book burners. That's not the case. I don't want to ban any books.
Honestly, some of these books that are being discussed, right? I've read them. I like them. I think they're good books. They are not appropriate for children.
Here's what needs to happen. Okay, we need to put them on defense. And when I'm saying them, the school system, when they give us these radical books. And they say, oh, you don't like this criteria, this curriculum, you want to ban it. No. You need to make the case to us that it's worth our kids reading it. So if it's going to be something that's got this nasty, this pornography stuff in it, the N-word in it, all these things, we need to know about it. You need a permission slip from us that our kids can read it. Don't ban it. If somebody's parents are okay with their kids reading it,
no, it shouldn't be in school. I disagree with you.
Okay, but if someone else,
with you.
That's fine, and we can disagree. We can totally disagree. That's why, you know. But what I'm saying is, if someone's parents are that radical, and if they want to do that, they have the right to raise their kids. They want to raise their kids, whether I agree with it or whether you agree with it. I don't agree that it should be in the school, but at the same time, I think we should have the choice.
Well, my argument there is it okay for a parent to be showing pornography to their child?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. I mean, I think that there are laws against it.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, and I think that like that should go a step further. I mean, if somebody is an adult, they can do whatever. I don't care what you read. I'm reading it. I'm reading this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. It's fine. It's good. It's good literature. You know what? Keep it in the library. Yeah. Librarians don't give to children, period. Don't give to children. Teachers, do not give this to children.
And that's fine. I also think that if certain parents want their kids to read that kind of stuff, I think that's up to them. I don't want to force anything. I don't want to be known as like a book banner or a book burner. I think that parents should have the choice, and parents should know what the schools are teaching. It's about transparency. And if they're going to bring up a book that's that controversial, right? It should explain this book has racism in it. This book has the N-word in it. Do you approve of your kid reading this?
Well, I mean,
I guarantee you, like 99.9% of parents.
Well, the whole argument for getting rid of like To Kill a Mockingbird, and because they've gotten rid of that. They've gotten rid of
ridiculous.
They've gotten rid of Huck Finn and all this. There's some really bad things. The historical context, right?
Yep.
And then, but it's double speak. You're speaking out of the side of your mouth. So, okay, it's all right for this when this actually has a historical freaking context.
They're banning books that they don't agree with.
Yep.
I say don't ban any books. I say be transparent.
Yep.
Let the parents know what you're giving the kids. Be honest about it.
Yep.
If the school system is honest about it, if the parents approve of the book, so be it. If they were to actually be honest about that book, about that Indian book, what was that called? Half Diary?
True Diary of a Part-Time Indian.
Okay, so I've heard lots of
it's bad.
Yeah, I've heard lots of different paragraphs of that book. I did a video on it.
It's a good book.
Yeah.
It's a good book, dude. It really is. It's not appropriate for kids.
No, not at all. I agree.
And before we go, I just want to put out there, if you haven't heard, Ben Shapiro is coming to South Bend in October. The Right to Life Michiana has him as a keynote speaker at their main fundraising event for the year. Support them. Get tickets. Go to my website. You can find the link. Just search Ben Shapiro on realnewsmichiana.com. You can find a link where you can get your tickets and stuff. I know that there's been a ton of traffic going there. These tickets are going to go very, very, very fast. I like Ben. I know a lot of people don't. I think he's great. I
like Ben. He's obviously got a good name. He's a winner. So there you go.
And then while you're there, remember, go to realnewsmichiana.com. Then go to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. $9 a month, 30 cents a day. You can support conservative news. This is information you're not getting anywhere else, right? Once again, this is how I keep the lights on. This is how we're able to do these podcasts. This is how we're able to keep this website going. This stuff costs money. This is how you support. I want to put this out there. Also, NPR, by the way. So NPR, the local NPR station, WVPE, gets close to, in their member donors or whatever, $750,000, $800,000 a year.
Wow.
So you know what? We have a conservative outlet here. Conservatives need to step up, help us out and subscribe. 30 cents a day. That's it. Well, Ben, I think we should sign out now.
I have a new YouTube channel.
Oh,
because
go ahead and give it.
YouTube kind of banned me for a little while posting videos. Ben's Rant Nation. Ben's Rant Nation. You will see me talking about a variety of different topics. I try to make it a little bit entertaining. So tune into Ben's Rant Nation.
I'm sure it's hilarious.
Sometimes.
All right. Thanks for joining us on the Real News Roundup. I'm Clifton French with Ben Dallas, and we will see you next week.
Goodbye.